find both. Well, it says how many of each kind did she buy, so I have to find both. Mm-hmm. Other questions? So want me to do this again? I can. First, you have to identify your variables, which is right here. And you could use X and Y. I just get confused as to which is which. Okay? And then you want to try to write equations. And this is the total number of shirts is 7, so I'm just going to add those up. Then to get the cost, you multiply the cost per shirt times how many shirts there are. I think the next one is a leg problem. So you should have all that written down and all the solving written down. It's the reason why I don't do it on the iPads is it's easier to do it paper and pencil. Now you can use that and get a piece of paper and do your problems on another piece of paper, but use that for your question, like a book. You can do that. Gabe, what'd you say? Oh. Okay, I can come back to this, but I would like to go to the next problem. These are the animal problems. I know these are goofy problems. I'm not going to say they're good problems. They're not. But there's some for you to practice with. And we have 13 animals in the barn. And in the barn, there are chickens and pigs. So what would you like to call the number of chickens? C. Number of chickens. You can use the words. It's just easier to use a single letter. But there's nothing wrong with using words. Nothing at all. And some are pigs. Now, I have a farm, and I had chickens. Chickens are mean. Do you know that? No, pigs are nice. They might, but they're very smart. Oh, pigs are very smart. Okay, so if I have C number of chickens and P number of pigs, and I have 13 animals in all, can you write an equation? I have 13 animals. How many chickens? I don't know. We're going to call it C. We'll give it a letter name, because maybe it's 2. I don't know. So the number of chickens, maybe I write that. The number of chickens, let's write it in English, plus the number of pigs is how many? How many animals? 13. What is 40? The legs. Okay, so how do you write that in math? I don't want to write all that out. Let's just call that C. And I don't want to write all that out. We'll just call it P equals 13. So there's one equation, but I have two things I don't know. So I need a second equation. That's why it's called a system of equations. We need to have two. If I had 3 things I don't know, guess how many equations I'd have to have? 3. Very good. Okay, when you are working on engineering and spaceships and things like that, they have hundreds of thousands of equations with hundreds and thousands of unknowns. It's very complicated. Okay, now let's do the legs. And they have a whole bunch of legs here, too. So, how many legs does a chicken have? Equals 2. And how many legs does a pig have? 4. Some animals don't have 4. Some animals only have 3 because they got in an accident or they were born that way, whatever. So how many legs do you have? So the number of chicken legs plus the number of pig legs equals 40. Okay, if you have, this is the hard part. If you have C number of chickens and each chicken has 2 legs, how many legs do you have in all? Well, let's write a little table here if you don't know. Okay, so this is the number of chickens, and this is the number of legs. Oh, we'll get there. You'll get this. So if you have 1 chicken, how many legs? 2. What if you have 2 chickens? 2 times 2. Don't multiply. What if you have 3? 2 times 3. What if you have 4? 2 times 4. Okay, that should be enough of a pattern to see. What if I have C number of chickens? What'd you say? Not 4C. What's the same on all of these? This is 2 times 1. This is the number of chickens over here. So this is where C is going to go, and this is going to be 2C. Should we do the pigs? Number of pigs. Some of you will see it without me doing this. And the number of legs. Okay, so if I have 1 pig, how many legs? 4. If I have 2 pigs, 2 times 4. I'm multiplying. This is 1 times 4, isn't it? What if I have 3 legs? 3 times 4, which is not 7. 4 legs. 4 times 4. Good. Now, how do you get the number of legs? You take 3 pigs times 4 legs per pig. So what if you have P number of pigs? P times 4. So how many legs do you have in all? Well, I have 4 times P for the pigs, and I have 2 times C for the chickens. And how many legs is that altogether? No, it tells me. I have to slide the board, though. 40, right? Oh, there it is. It's 40. And I also have this one. I'll write it back in black. I have C plus P equals 13. I've got a little problem here. Those letters are not even lined up, are they? Well, this is a P and that's a C. You can't combine those. They're not the same. So how about if I take the top one, keep it the same way it's written, and let's just switch the order on the bottom equation. Can I just switch C and P? Does that change anything? No. So P plus C equals 13. I want to have them lined up. Now, which one do you want to get rid of, P or C? Okay. I would have done C myself. So, Jake, what am I going to multiply by? Substitution is okay. I have to solve for C, but I'd rather do it this way. Jake, I want to make this be, these go away. What number does this have to be? Okay, it has to be a negative 4. Well, this one's not too bad. So this is negative 4, and this is negative 4. You just have to do that multiplication, that's all. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite the top line. And I do have colored pencils and pens that you may use. Actually, I think my pencils are in the other room. And what's this going to give me? Okay, Michael, what do I get here? Negative 4P. See if I can get out of the way. Minus 4C. Does anybody know what 4 times 13 is? I always get that mixed up with negative 42, but that's okay. Negative 52. Hopefully we did that right. Now you add. What happens to the P's? They go away. Now let's leave this up. You can copy it in a second if you want. And what do these give you? A positive 2 and a negative 4. Use a calculator if you don't know. Negative 2C and a positive 40 and a negative 52. Negative 12. Good, they're both negative. If one had been positive, one being negative, I'd be in trouble because then I'd get a negative number of chickens. Yeah. So the number of chickens equals 6. And how many animals do I have in all? 13. So how many pigs do I have? Well, it's 13 minus 6, which is 7. Does that work? Does that give me 40 legs? Let's check it. Chickens have 2, so 6 times 2. Pigs have 4. That's 12 plus 28. Is that 40? Yeah. Okay? So it's like yesterday, but yesterday you had some equations already given to you. Today it's harder because there's nothing given to you, just the problem. So you're going to want to, I like to put the numbers down, write down the numbers, and then you're going to have to pick variables for your unknowns. And we are probably not going to finish this today. That's okay. And then we are going to try to write 2 equations using the relationship that they give us. And then we're going to solve. And the last thing we'll do is answer the question. I don't care what your subject you're in, make sure you always answer the question. Don't ever say more than what you have to say, because that can get you in trouble. That's a life lesson. Okay. Now, do you want me to leave that there, and then you guys can work on the next one? And Mrs. Liedall and I will come around and help you. So if you don't have it written down, you can get it written down. If you want to write it on a piece of paper, that's fine. Just use your iPad as a book. I know it's hard to write on the iPad. I agree with you. Why is this not? Come on.